97 Out of Box. This is DJ Eric, one part of the Big Flo and Eric show. Right now you're tuned in to Tea with Monroe. Ooh, sex, love, scandal, harassment. Oh, you get the tea right now. Tea with Monroe podcast. You're officially tuned in.
Yes, so welcome to my new listeners. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to my riders who listen to me every episode and tune in, and yeah, all y'all. I have a guest in the building, but before I introduce this lovely lady, I have a few things. So if you haven't already, definitely check me out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. And also for my SoundCloud listeners and users, if you can, when you listen to the episode, do me a favor, a huge favor, and repost that episode that you're listening to. Press that like button as well. That way people who follow you can see you. And yeah, definitely share my episode out there on SoundCloud. Also, I'm trying to get down this social media thing. I'm not that savvy, but I'm getting there. So on Twitter, something new I'm doing. If you want to be a part of the conversation weekly, or just anytime you want to be a part of the conversation of Tea with Monroe, the podcast, tweet your comments and hashtag TWMPOD. That's hashtag TWMPOD. That way we can get this conversation going. I definitely will respond. And also, continue to send me your emails for the Anonymous Tea segment with your issues and questions. That way the hubby and I can give you our colorful feedback on anything that you submit to us. I know you just love our colorful advice. So, what else? Oh, voice memos. Now, this is definitely new to me. I heard somebody else talking about this, but I am familiar with it. I just never used them for my podcast. So definitely, if you want to, if you don't want to write an email and easier for you to record yourself talking, and I definitely will play the recording on during my podcast as well, doing my segment. Just send a voice memo to my email, twithmonroe@gmail.com. And for future episodes, I will air those and we will answer your questions that way. And I definitely give you a shout out also. But if you want to remain anonymous, that's your choice as well. So we are here to help and not to harm. So yeah, I will keep you anonymous if you choose to remain anonymous. So just definitely say that at the beginning of the recording and or in the email, and that way we can keep you confidential, yet give you the answers that you need for anything that you are inquiring about. All right, so let's get it. So how you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good too.
So I have Tara here. She is the host of Is What It Is, the live show on Facebook. It's a good little show I've been listening to. So she wanted to come here and talk about a few things. And she's also a makeup artist. Mm-hmm. Yes, girl. So Faces by Tara.
Face by Tara.
Face by Tara. I messed up with the S the last time. Face by Tara. And you can find that on Facebook. She'll give you her deets once we finish our conversation. Okay, so what's the tea for today? So y'all know the hottest thing going right now is Khloe Kardashian and Tristen Thomas. So y'all feeling bad for Khloe?
No.
Why not?
Because she date basketball players. That's what it is.
And the same way you got that man is the same way you're going to lose that man. Karma.
So we had no sympathy for her as a woman? No, because let me tell you something, because you know her and Amber Rose been beefing for a very long time. Even Amber Rose came out the woodworks and like, boo, look, I know we've had our differences, but I'm sorry, you shouldn't have to go through this. I mean, she was 9 months pregnant.
People get cheated on every day. The only difference is they celebrities. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So what if this is your sister? Would you feel bad for her if this was somebody else's?
Now that she go and choose the same basketball player, dude.
Ooh, okay, let's scratch the fact that he's a basketball player. You keep focusing in on that. It's just
you can't scratch the fact.
Why?
Because he's young. He's a celebrity. He has a lot of money. He's probably tall, and I don't even know what the dude
What does
look
that have to do with anything?
And it has a lot to do with he's a young. He's a basketball player, and that's what. So happens.
If you did a basketball player, you expected to get cheated on. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. At some point,
that's not fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's. I mean, if you're gonna date a young athlete, and you know,
She's a celebrity as well. So that means she has the right.
But
Or
it's
you
a
expect her to
different-
cheat too?
Celebrities and athletes are different. Athletes are always on the road. They're always on the go. I think if you want to get away, do something different, you need to do something different.
What's that little young basketball player that everybody loves? Stephen Curry. He doesn't cheat. He's a wholesome Christian.
I mean, yeah, but
The key word is married.
Okay.
I don't even
That's
think
the
that
key
make a
word.
difference. But I'm not even. I can't say all basketball players, but if you keep doing the same thing, she done dated James Harden. She done dated.
Oh yeah, she did. She did.
What's the other guy's name?
Lamar Odom.
Odom. I can't even think
She
of
dated
everybody.
that celebrity French Montana.
Yeah, well, I guess they dated. I don't.
They did for
Okay,
for
so-
some years.
So if you dating these people and you're getting the same result,
I don't necessarily know
maybe
she.
it's something with her. Then you know what I'm saying.
Well, the thing with her, they're saying is because when she met Tristen, he was with, I forgot the young lady's name, but she was pregnant. And she was on one of those reality TV shows, Wags or something, I can't remember. And she was pregnant, and I think that baby's not even a year old yet. So he left her for Khloe. That's what I had heard anyway.
I don't think that they even care. I don't think the
What you think,
Kardashians
Tara?
care.
Well,
'Cause I
she came. The baby mama came and even came to Khloe's defense, talking about some what was this on? I think Instagram. When it's people's business and lives at stake, you shouldn't be so negative and posting everything. And we're like, didn't it just happen to you? And you come to her defense? So I guess everybody has sympathy.
Well, I guess that's why I say as a woman, that's why I have some sympathy because she is a woman, and I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. You were pregnant, I'm telling you, my baby daddy put me through hell when you know what I'm saying. That's the worst time you could treat somebody when they're pregnant.
True.
Not saying that karma owes her anything because she did what she did to that young lady, but when you're pregnant, that's something, just something about that that gets to me, and I just feel like. And I think he started cheating in October. So she was like 3 months pregnant then.
So from a woman's perspective, when you're pregnant, are you like helpless?
You're
in
not
some-
helpless, but you carrying a baby, and this should be a happy time because your babies thrive off of your emotions and everything that you're going through, And thank goodness that she was at the end of her term because some people have premature births because they go through stressful times when they're pregnant, not necessarily by a man, but just stress in general. It's stressful, and I think you should have some sort of compassion, don't you think?
Just a little bit.
Y'all, they not giving Khloe a break. And also, I think she just wanted a baby. She may not even care.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't think
She
they
just
care.
because she been trying to have a baby forever. So
She just wanted a baby, and then so something hit, and she was like, "Okay, I don't care what he does. I got this."
well, from what I understand, she allowed him. Now, what about allowing him into the delivery room? Would you have done that if you found out a day before that he cheated
the father of the
with
child.
several girls?
Yeah,
He cheated with several
that's
girls.
the father of the child.
So you want that energy around
It
you?
ain't got nothing to do with energy.
Right.
You would let him in if
My child's dad did a whole fool, and I waited till the vet when I was 10 centimeters. That's when I called him. He made it just like that.
and you wanted him with you when the baby was born.
You see, I waited till the very last minute.
Because you couldn't decide.
No, I just didn't want to deprive him of being there and seeing his daughter being born. You know, you
But why
can't
don't
be
they
selfish.
think about that? But
It ain't because it ain't just your child.
But I'm just saying, why wasn't he thinking about that? He knew she was going to have a baby.
Okay, he didn't know when she was supposed to have a
Oh,
baby.
Larry, you're not being...
So what I'm saying is, you don't deprive anybody. It's like a man depriving a woman of the child once the child.
So
is
you
here.
depriving me of my sanity and my sanctuary of birth, and I mean now she done had this baby. Now she got to deal with the fact that
you mean our sanctuary? You mean their sanctuary?
Well, he wasn't thinking about that when he was in that hookah bar and going to the hotel with these random Instagram chicks.
Well, as far as he know, it ain't even his baby. He don't know what she was
Oh
doing.
my
I'm
God!
just
Now,
saying.
he
So that's not
know
fair.
he know Khloe is having this baby, Larry. He know that's his baby.
I mean, I'm just saying, as far as I know, as far as he knows, it ain't his baby. For us,
No, that's not even in the equation. You just making
I'm
stuff
just
up.
saying, you making it sound like it's a woman thing only. It's a
I'm not saying it's a woman thing, but it is. I mean, it's us. It's us going through that process. Tori, beat him up, please. Don't let me.
No, because I kind kind of agree. It all depends on what they have. Like at the end of the day, nobody knows what they go through. Nobody knows the battles and stuff that they fight.
Right.
My husband could be cheating on me right now. I wouldn't know. But at the end of the day, that's my husband, and I'm gonna ride with him. But the thing is, that's my husband. They just baby mama, they dating.
So it's a difference for you because they're just dating.
Yes.
So if okay, let's say this.
Thank you.
It make me sick. Okay, so let's put it out. So if they were married, okay, let's pretend that they were married and he did this. Would your views change?
No, my views wouldn't change, but it all depends on that person. You know, at the end of the day, nobody is perfect. People gonna mess up regardless. It's all on your mind frame. So if you got this thing in your head like, oh, this is just the perfect man and this, that, and another, and as soon as he mess up, you on the road to kill yourself because you all depressed and stuff. It's just how you perceive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody's perception and how you are built. You know what you and your husband can have the best relationship ever, best friend, do everything. Everything is just perfect, and he slip up one time. So are you gonna take all those years of goodness for that one time, or you just gonna stay with your husband?
Well, I mean, we're putting. You know, we're applying little, situations to it. Like, it just depends on the situation.
It could be an error in his life. He just did a bunch of stupid stuff right then, right in that point
So
in his life.
y'all basically saying it's based on your level of tolerance when you're dealing with somebody. And, because all of us handle things different. I can't say what I will or would not do if it happened to me. I just know for me personally, being pregnant was very traumatic. So I feel for her on that part of it, married or not. But, and a part of me as a woman, like, universe don't give a shit about nobody. So you dealt your cards, and just because you're a celebrity, you get what you give, I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I don't like y'all right now.
Yeah, well, being married does make a difference in any kind of relationships, advice, relationship.
So, because you married, you supposed to be okay with somebody cheating on you? Is that what you're saying?
But
I'm
like
gonna say
this,
no.
huh?
I'm gonna say no because
right.
when you make that choice to get married, you're making a lifelong commitment to one person. That one person. So that means you've made the point to yourself to be built to go through whatever it is that you go through, because in your heart of hearts, you know that you love this person no matter what.
Right.
Boyfriend and girlfriend, you got the option to walk away.
You can walk away.
It's no obligation to that person. You don't have to do none of the stuff that a husband would do for a wife. Y'all just there. And in these days, they probably weren't even in a relationship. They was probably just banging and taking pictures together. We don't know.
That's true.
Oh, that's true. I ain't think
because
about it like that.
dating to them, I'm in this state, you in this state. We have a monogamous, supposedly, and usually the women, I guess the women say they want that. Sometimes guys, but normally if a guy, to me, I'm not gonna do long distance stuff like that.
Right.
And she's there with her family. She has a show, so she's doing all that. But this guy probably is, in his mind, he's dating her, but these are not. I mean, you got to know how a guy thinks sometimes.
Right.
That's how guys think.
Well, they did say that, she makes substantially more money than he does. He is not a star player. Is it the Wizards or what's that? What team you play on?
Cleveland.
Oh, that's not, who's that? The Cleveland what?
Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they say he's not a star player. He's not one of those, like LeBron James, whoever's on that team. And, so a lot of people do date the Kardashians just to get exposure.
Right.
And that could have been his mindset. I don't know. I just feel like, you need to treat people how you want to be treated. some things you just don't do. And it all could be, she could just want a baby. He could just want celebrity, Right. Okay, Khloe, I don't care. You got cheated on. Oh, well.
There we go. Let's move to the next subject.
Okay, so this is a podcast I'm listening to. So I have been listening to this wonderful podcast, Jackie and John, and I just found them, I don't know, a couple days ago, and I decided to listen to them or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's John. He has his own podcast, also John the Effect, and I'm Just Jackie has a YouTube channel. Anyway, they're both great. So when you're not listening to me, definitely check them out. So anyway, they have this segment where they talk about things that grievances or pet peeves or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she mentioned something about blocking people that you're mad at, but you haven't had a conversation with them to let them know that you're mad at them. So apparently one of her friends, a long-term friend, She just happened to reach out one day, and she was blocked on all social media outlets. She was blocked on her cell phone, on the iPhone, and she was like, "What the bleep? What is going on? Why am I being blocked?" And she said she don't have no earthly idea. She felt that their relationship was had a lot more substance to it. That the girl would come to her to say, "Hey, I got this problem with you," versus just blocking her. So before I give my opinion, what do you guys think? Do y'all block people without telling them, or you just let people know how you feel? Then block them.
Me personally, I feel like as an adult, if you have a problem with somebody, you should be able to go to and tell them, you know, hey, you hurt my feelings, or hey, you pissed me off when you did this, that, and the other. If that's your real friend, if it's not your friend, you gonna block them and don't care. So just based off what you told me, I feel like that girl probably wasn't her friend. She was probably envious about her for whatever the reason they may be, and she just waited for that perfect moment. Oh, she done pissed me off, let me block her, you know. So I just believe it depends on a person's maturity level and how they handle stuff.
Well, you know, blocking is crucial these days. I mean, you block because, you know, I'm telling you something, I can be very immature. You know, you make me mad, but honestly, I do it a lot. It's just usually temporary, especially when I'm angry. Because if I block you that way, if it's somebody close in my circle, and if I'm irritated and I block you, it keeps me from responding to you in a way if you reach out to me. Go ahead, say what you got to say.
Nah, I just think that these days and era, social media is so important to people. Not to me, but
I know what you mean.
if a person blocks me, I'm like, what did I do to you? It's offensive.
It's offensive, yeah. It's like fighting words.
So it's like you blocking me. So what did I do to you to where you don't want to communicate at all with me? So that means you want to end. When you block me from anything, your phone, Facebook, anything, you want to end our friendship. That's it.
So it means friendship is over to you?
Yeah, that's what it means to me.
Oh.
It's like, you blocked me. Well, what did I do to you?
I know he get that way too. Like if somebody unfriend him on Facebook and he don't know they've unfriended him, and they try to circle back and refriend him, he was like, wait a minute. What you unfriend me for to begin with? Remember
right. I don't know. But I guess I understand that people meet people through people. So once like when we were going through issues, we had separated.
Right.
And when we separated,
my friends unfriended him.
A lot of her friends unfriended me. And I got offended. I said, okay. And then all of a sudden when they find out we get back together, oh, they trying to be my friend. Oh, no, you can't come back.
He was really felt some type of way.
I understand. Like, you can't, in a situation, if somebody's going through something, you have to be non-biased. You can't take sides because you really don't know. Just because you my homegirl and I'm telling you this what's going on, that means you don't know. You don't know what's still a good husband. You know what I'm saying? You can't just take one side of the over without hearing the other side of the story. Even though it ain't nobody's point to know anyway, but still, don't take sides. I don't do that at all, and I try my best not to like.
Some people are ride or die though, like that.
True. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes that's bad because let's say if it was one of her family members or something, she go tell her family member that you did something, then y'all get back together, and when y'all at the cookout, you got cousin John over here with the pistols ready, you know.
Hey, let me tell you, girl, and look, that was our story right there. So from that lesson learned, we don't talk about we keep everything in this little encapsulated bubble between us.
To bring it up on this show.
But it's over and done with now. The healing is it's no open wounds, nothing. Everything's good. But yeah, we went through that same exact, and that was a hard lesson because when we got back together, decided to work things out. Everybody was like, wait a minute. Now, you don't got my emotions all invested in y'all bug crap, and now y'all holding hands, skipping.
All those lies you told on me, too. I'm just like, that's horrible.
I try my best. I don't put nobody in my business.
Yeah.
I can pull my pistol on my husband. If we posting on Facebook, we gonna be cheesing and everything because it's nobody's business. Because you don't know who is hating on you and
everybody
waiting for y'all to fail,
issues.
And you don't know. And everybody had a problem.
Everybody dealing with something, but they
even
all
family.
And
honestly, family was the worst. You know, even family that we were cool with, but not necessarily close to. Their emotions got involved and don't stop talking to me. I mean, it was a mess. Yeah. You know, all because he was telling lies on me too.
I don't lie.
Well, I am a notorious blocker. I've gotten better at it. And again, it's to keep me from responding to you. Because I do it to my kids too. If they piss me off and we having a text war or something, I got to block them because let's block this right now before somebody say something out of context. Because, we read into emotions into text messages, So I block them, and then when it calm down, we circle back and we okay. And the joke is with the kids, Mommy blocked you. She blocked me too, girl. She blocked me. It keep our relationship whole.
At least you block them. My mom just don't talk to us.
I can't though, because I have to respond to everything. Just recently I had an issue with a friend, and I found something out that she had done that I didn't appreciate, and the first thing I did was block her. And I did it because I didn't want her to text me or anything, and I say something and it blow up. So I had to but then I forgot that I blocked her. And then I'm having an event this weekend, and I'm coming. Did you block me? Yeah. I had a little issue with you I wanted to talk about. So now she don't even want to come because I won't tell her what the issue is because I don't want it to interfere with what I'm doing right now. Yeah. So that's a whole nother podcast I'm going to bring up later. We're going to talk about that. So I thought that was interesting. I guess I'm the only immature one here then. Forget y'all. But I admit it, I'm 48, but I can turn 13 in a minute, just depending on how I'm feeling. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Tar, you want to talk about black business and how we don't support our black dollars and our black businesses out there? Why are you you seem very passionate because I know you talked about it on It Is What It Is, your Facebook Live show. So tell us why this is really important to you, and let's get into some discussion.
All right. It's important to me because when, let's say somebody go buy some Jordans, they don't, write Jordan an email, Jordan, hey, can I get 15% off for these shoes? These $250, I ain't got it this month. Can I get, no, they take whatever they got and they go buy it. When it comes to a small black business owner, just because we black, they want to say, hey, sister, how you doing? You got promo codes, you got this, that, and the other, and can I get a discount on this? And I'm like, why would you ask me for a discount and not ask somebody that's big? As a small business owner, it's harder for us to keep afloat because we have to buy things in small bulk. So that means it costs more money for us to get it. So why do we have to come and ask for discounts when you don't have a problem going to spend $300 on somebody else's hair that's coming off their head from across the seas? That's the only problem that I have. Like, it's enough money out here for everybody to make it. You don't go to somebody else, bigger brand, MAC, you don't ask them for a discount on makeup. You pay your $65 because you have to buy, 3 products in order to get your face done? Why can't you come and get the same services and the same products that I get and pay the price without the issue?
So I guess this is because you are now, you're entrepreneur now. I know your story, you quit your job, right? And you started your own business, you're doing your makeup and everything. So I guess you're experiencing this through your services. People who come to you to get their makeup done, they want to hook up.
Not necessarily just me, just everybody that I'm connected with, because majority of my friends are entrepreneurs as well. And that's kind of offensive if you come to me. It's like, you don't value me enough to pay me what I'm asking you for. You don't know if I'm already giving you a deal.
Right.
So it's just offensive to me. And I feel like as the community, if we build our own, we can keep our own.
Right.
Keep our money within our circle. And that's what I'm all about, because I feel like as a culture, everything gets taken away from us and everybody else get rich off of this stuff for us, and that's not cool.
I get that because because this is my first experience ever dealing with this is when it was my second marriage, and my ex, and he started a clothing store off the chain fashion in this little town, Lakeland, Florida, and we had all the high end, black stuff like FUBU back in that time, all the black high end. Stuff that it was popping back then. Whatever, I can't even think of what I want to say. Name brand. That's what I'm talking about. Name brand clothes, shoes, everything. It was a nice store. We had a nice storefront. It was really nice, and people were actually coming there. Now we had the same clothes, a lot of the same clothing lines that Macy's had, and they would come in there and literally asked us for discounts. And I'm just like, and that's the first thing I said, and I didn't know shit from Shinola back then, but the first thing out of my mouth was, did you ask the people at Macy's for a discount? Because I was offended because we was the first time, we weren't charging no more for our clothes than the stores were.
Right.
And again, how we weren't giving a discount? I mean, people were really the black community, they were really, oh, y'all think y'all all that because y'all got y'all a clothing store. Y'all don't need my money since you got enough money to open the store. I'm just like, where does this thought process come from? You know, and I just couldn't. We ended up going under because of that, because they would not support whatsoever. They would really go to the mall and go to Macy's and go to Dillard's and buy the same clothes versus spending their money with us.
Okay.
I mean, it was really sad.
All right, I got a question. Well, it's not a question, but I just thought about something. The question was, why don't black people support? And why do they always want a discount or something like that? So it's probably the same reason we want them to support us. So what I mean is, we're asking the black communities to support black-owned businesses, but they saying, if I come support you, can I get a discount? So we asking them to support us. We just asking for blacks to support us. So maybe it is the thing they say, location. We are open up in a black community, which is what the Asians does. That's what the Indians do. They do that, but yet we'll go to them. But a lot of those communities are bargain people. So what I mean is, Indian, Asians in their community, they bargain, they negotiate.
Barter, right.
Yeah, they barter and negotiate with each other. But we as black people, we don't go to the Indians and say, hey, can I get this for less? You'll be surprised if you ask, can we get it for less? They may say no, because they know that we don't normally ask that.
I ask. I ain't gonna lie.
Now Asian people go in there and they would try to get it for less with an Asian person if they had something there. Indian people go in there, they'll go and ask for less, because that's African people will go and ask for less because that's what they do.
That's their culture,
right? Because I'm not gonna even lie to you. When I deal with some, let me just say it. I deal with I deal with a lot of attorneys, and some of them are Africans,
right?
And those are the worst people I don't like working for them, because when I'm saying that, I mean, I
not
work
necessarily
for
work,
anybody.
but they're difficult to work with.
Well, they always want
to make sure they continue to work.
Tell me what they want to pay me for whatever my service costs. But they would, and sometimes they have one. I just gave up.
But they're not just selective to black people. They'll do any culture like that, though, won't they?
Correct.
Okay.
They do anybody. So sometimes I think that we don't ask for. We ask each other. For some reason we think
feel comfortable
because you black, you supposed to give me a discount. They had it in their head. You know what I'm saying? But we don't even know. We can go into Walmart and try to negotiate a price. They may say no, but we actually can. It can get stuff off too. You know?
They would approach us differently, instead of just saying, why is this so high? If they do it in a more positive manner instead of a negative, because a lot of encounters that I have came into it was always negative, So I'm like, if you would have asked me differently, I don't tell them this, because once I feel that negative energy, I'm like, nope, you either gonna pay or you're not. I'm not gonna miss your money.
That's right.
But if they ask differently, instead of with an attitude, then you'll never know.
Right.
Because I'm all about helping the next person. That's my thing, and I'm a big believer in karma.
But you got to make profit.
But you have to. That's my point. You have to make your profit, and you don't know what I had to go through to pay for this.
Right.
My money comes from my customers. You know what I'm saying? So if you ask me in a nice way, then yeah, and it goes with customer service as well. I pride myself on customer service. If I'm giving you excellent customer service, I'm responding to you, I'm treating you respectfully because that's how I want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Then I wouldn't have a problem.
Now, could it be the type of clientele that you have also? Because, just for example, I get my lashes done, and I was trying to leave Amazing Lash because I got frustrated with their services, their products, how they was dealing with me. So I went on Facebook, and one of my friend girl's daughters said, hey, I got this great girl who does great lashes. So I went to her Facebook page. Oh my God, her stuff was just great. I went to her Instagram, everything just, and she has high reviews. It was just really good. So you got to go through this little app now where you got to set up appointments. I can't think of the name of it right now, but these little appointment apps, and you have to put a deposit down to get, your services. I do my hair like that.
Most barbers and stuff.
Yeah. So, and I went through it, and I paid the $20 or whatever. I think that the lashes was like $75. I paid the $20, and she sent me the notification or whatever, and I paid the $20. And then the day of the appointment, I was like, hey, I forgot. what her name was. I went to her. I said, hey, I'm on my way. You know, I just want to make sure, confirm your address. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. When I sent you your notification, you were supposed to respond within 24 hours, otherwise you forfeit your appointment and your $20. But for some reason, my programming didn't do it. So can I just reschedule you? Know, I was really irritated. You remember this story? I was really irritated because I was like, oh my God, I look like a bald head scallywag. I need my lashes done. And so I was like, okay, I get it. And so now I'm thinking, I'm going to go read the fine print because maybe I missed something. And so she said, well, don't worry about it. Just make a new appointment. Your $20 still will apply, whatever. And then so I was like, okay. So I went to reading her Instagram stuff, you know, to find out about how everything worked. And then I read the email that I received. Neither one of them matched. They was telling me two different things. And neither one of them said, if you don't respond within a such amount of time, you will forfeit your appointment. And so I just said, hey, just as a courtesy to her to say, hey, you might want to fix this because you will lose people if you don't let them know. Because I'm thinking, I didn't know I had a time frame. And it was actually just an hour or two over the 24 hours, you know. And she was like, well, what's the problem? What are you trying to say? And I said, well, I'm just letting you know that maybe if you just go ahead and fix your wording, that there won't be no confusion. That way you won't miss appointments or whatever. Well, I'm not missing an appointment. You're just missing yours. I was like, and this was a long black girl. That's how she coming at me. Now, we text messaging. I'm not mad at her or anything, but I'm just like, why are you coming at me like this? And then she say, oh, it's because you paid you want your $20 back, right? $20 is $20. If I didn't want to give you the $20, I would never made the appointment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not rich or nothing, but I wouldn't have gave you the $20 up front if I didn't have it. That's not what I'm asking you
tell
about. I just told her, I said, well, I'm not here to argue with you. Well, you sound like you got an attitude because you trying to say that she just would not. And then finally, you know what I did? I blocked her. But I was really, and I did a YouTube about this because it was so unprofessional, and it was because of the clientele that she deal with, because people do, because I've heard stories, and one of your cousins, Quinn, went through the same thing when Hurricane Harvey went through. She paid a $40 upfront to get her hair braided. She was flooded in, and the girl wouldn't reschedule her. She said, well, I'm not flooded in. That's not my problem, you flooded in. Wouldn't give her $40 back, and Quinn went on this rampage on Facebook. But the thing about it is, when you give good service to people, you know, it depends on your clientele. And I think, in my mind, I think she must be dealing with young, silly girls who fight about this $20 if they can't make their appointment, because that's the only reason I could think of. She would think that I was questioning her about money. And it could be, and I said, I'll let them say this, it could be the clientele, because if you're dealing with a person who about their business, no business, they will come at you and say, well, hey, do you have any specials today?
Thank you. You see how you just said that?
Right.
Do you have any specials? Now, can I get a discount? Why is this so much and stuff like that? It goes both ways, the business owner and the consumer.
Right.
If you want people to support you, you have to give that good customer service. And I hate dealing with people, no matter what their ethnicity is, that has a bad attitude. I worked at Dollas for a little bit, and it was this customer that always would come in and she would have a stank attitude. Her energy was just bad. Why y'all can't do this? Why y'all can't do that? Mind you, our makeup services at Dollas were free. Well, I want to look like this. I want the bomb glamour, this, that, and the other, but you don't want to purchase nothing. I gotta spend an hour on your face, but still, I didn't get that attitude or none of that. I just provided her with her service. I convinced her to buy some stuff. So it goes both ways, consumer and business.
Well, we have to be realistic. Now, consumers are the worst people to deal with. You in the service industry, you don't know what's gonna walk up in your store or even online or whatever, because, and you depend on these people for reviews and to spread the word, you know. So sometimes, no matter how nice you are to them, they just jerks.
True.
They're just jerks.
You can't worry about that. If they want it, if they want it, they're gonna pay for it. And that's how I looked at it. Like, I changed my clientele completely. I won't accept nobody that has a problem with paying any price that I put down. If they got a problem with the deposit, I'm not gonna miss their money. I don't need you to come
right.
You know, and that's how I had to look at it now. But still, even, you know, like, even with that, people still want discounts.
Yeah, it's mostly black people.
Mostly, mostly, and it just made me reevaluate like the whole thing, and then I started paying attention to a lot of people, and I started paying attention to the stuff that they would spend money on with no questions. So you can go buy from other races with no problem, but when it's time to keep the money circulating, it's always a negative connotation behind it. Why can't we help build our own community? Whenever we do anything, no matter if it's business, if it's a birthday party, somebody is going to always have something negative to say about what you doing. It could be a kid's birthday party. My best friend had a child birthday party. She had a candy table. It was really nice. And her sister sat there and talked about her so bad. Well, she just got to do all this. It's just so, she just over the top. But it's her baby birthday party. Why can't she do that?
And I think that's a jealousy we have in our community. It's like the crab bucket mentality.
Yes.
It's like you don't want us, and people don't even realize that you just holding yourself back by trying to hold somebody else back. You know what I mean? And we do not feed our community. I can say honestly, I personally do not seek out Black businesses, but if I find them, I will support them. But honestly, and then another thing, they're hard to find. You know, a lot of them are very difficult to find. In terms of location, like if I got to run to get to the grocery store, I'm gonna run up here to the Walmart neighborhood market. I'm not gonna go to Southside to mom and pops. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's
so let me ask you this. Remember when I put something on in the Facebook group about there was a woman that was giving a rant on Instagram or something about supporting Black business, and there was somebody did some type of commentary off of it. They said that there was when we looked at the comments from the group, a lot of people were saying they don't support Black business because they not professional.
I remember that. And it's a lot of unprofessionalism.
Right, and they was going in on them, and it was like no matter where they go, it doesn't matter. It's always something. They don't have salt. They don't have, like if you go to a restaurant, they out of salt. Like why y'all didn't get salt? You know you're a restaurant. You gotta go.
I remember that.
You know, and so and we actually went out and we experienced that because we was like, oh my goodness, is this what they're talking about? But yeah, I think.
But you know what? But then you know, if you're complaining about that, why not go to the owner and say, hey, you know what's going on? I mean, you know, ask them why they don't have salt or why what's going on, or we don't, like she said, we don't know that struggle.
The Black businesses that actually do better than most are the ones that are supported by white people.
This is it?
Well, yeah.
That's supported by white people?
Well, let's just say this. He moved his location, but...
Is it in the white area now?
No, he's in Third Ward.
You know, this is it.
It's the upper scale area of Third Ward.
Right.
At first, it was like in the hood. But
and he didn't do well in the hood?
He did good in the hood. I guess it's just the location. I think the location is big. I haven't been in a while because when he expanded, the prices went up. So
right.
He said that. Well, he said that. You know, he said that. Craig said that. You know, just... You know, you have to pay for this stuff. So he said that in the sermon. So but anyway, so my point that I was trying to get at is that what was my point? What was I saying?
That they don't have the salt.
Well, you know, yeah. So basically, sometimes they don't. You know, that's a learned thing. You have to know how to run a business. What kind of business do you do?
Well, I started my first business, Face by Tar. I'm a freelance makeup artist. You can either come to me or I bring all my supplies to you, and I do small business consulting to help Black people know how to start their businesses and know how to run them properly. I think
any type of business or just makeup?
Anything.
Okay.
Anything. It can even be personal. You know, sometimes we don't have that. The Black community don't discuss any issues whatsoever. You can have some kind of mental issues or some kind of spiritual issues going on. What your mama gonna say? Girl, ain't nobody got time for that gone. And I feel like if I feel like this with my mom, I can just imagine how many other people out there, because the Black community do not discuss issues, problems whatsoever. You have to suck it up, tough it up, and keep on going.
Well, you know, that comes from our ancestors. I mean, they don't. Well, it does. I mean, because even my mother's generation. Because I remember I went through a little bout of depression. Girl, better put your big panties on and keep it pushing. Nobody so that's. I mean, she right about that.
I understand exactly where you come from, and I like to call that slave mind. They passing down all the stuff that they got from back then, and they passing it down, and we just recirculating it. We can't do that. Like, mental health is real. Right. Spiritual wars are real. So why can't I come to somebody that look like me, that I'm comfortable with, as opposed to going to somebody else that don't know nothing about me, just looking at me as a dollar sign to help me when they generally don't care. You don't have enough of that, and that's the consulting just goes all around the board. I can help you with anything. If you want to call me and talk about your dog getting hit and you depressed, call me. I'm not. I don't charge for stuff like that. I just really want to help people that need help, that need that support, because we don't have that.
Right. Well, I believe that, when I started my business, I didn't have a clue, and I had to get mentorship. But my mentor came from people, me asking questions, and people realizing I didn't know everything, and they were just trying, give that little bit tidbit they would give me. So I had to put the structure together myself. Now I didn't know anything about how to put this together. So, but I did have a female friend. Her name was Pam Odell, and Pam, she's a white lady now, but she was a good lady. This lady helped me. She said, "No, don't do this. You do that. No, don't be." And she didn't understand why was I charging so little for my prices. She said, "I've charged what we did the same way." She said, "I charge what I'm worth."
Right.
It stuck in my head. She said, "If you feel like your time is worth that much money, that's what you charge."
And that's what you're supposed to do.
And and that took me some years, but I actually got there. And my prices are higher than a lot of people because I've been doing what I've been doing for 22 years. So I'm like, look, I do this. You want me? This is what it costs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but we don't teach, and I don't help a lot of people do what I'm doing. I show them, and black, even help white and other people too. But I do want. That's one thing we don't do is we don't share the knowledge. We try to hold.
So scared somebody gonna take your idea and profit, make it be better than you.
Yeah, you black, and you is more. It's plenty out there for everybody. This is a global economy.
But because we're so small minded, we don't think that. Because even when I started podcasting, it was difficult to get other black podcasters to help me. Now, there's a lot of them out there now who are willing to help you and give, but mostly it was Caucasian people who've already, set the standards and the ways of doing things. Those were the people who offer, well, here's a subset of free information, and if that's not enough, then you go to the next level and you purchase. Right. And I'm that type of person. If I need your services, especially if you're offering me something like, okay, you give me some good information, I was like, okay, this is some good information. They know this. If I'm paying for something, then I'm going to get more information. Mm-hmm. So, and that's how I got started. But it was difficult. Like I can't even remember her name right now. I don't even want to give her a shout out, but it was one black podcaster. She's really good. She's out there. And I went to her and I said, hey, I'm a new podcaster. I'm interested in being a podcaster. I remember I sent her that letter out because I was so hurt behind it, and it almost defeated me too. And I was like, hey, I just trying to find out, what equipment do you use? Where do you record? Just generic stuff, what program do you use to record your software do you use? If you got to ask me, she responded, if you have to ask, then say hi, good morning, bitch, nothing. If you got to ask me that, then you don't need to be a podcaster. And I was just like, well, damn, what? Well, what is that to tell somebody who is interested in becoming, a podcaster or whatever? Selfish. You know what I mean? It's very selfish, and she's very popular and she is one of the top podcasters out there. But just that right there made me unfollow her because all that inspiring stuff that she says on her podcast didn't mean shit to me after that because that's not genuinely who you are.
That's true.
Because you could have told me the basics because I know you got money. Even if you got somebody engineering everything for you, you could have referred me to them to say, hey, well, ask my engineer. Girl, I don't got nothing to do with that. Right. Ask them, Mm-hmm. But so I was reading up on this topic and they said one of the reasons is because of we don't spend our black dollars in black businesses is because of inconvenience is what I mentioned earlier. It's not easy to find, black businesses in your vicinity, always in neighborhoods that we're fearful of going in or.
Not really, because there's no black businesses in black neighborhoods.
A lot of them are, though, the ones that.
Well, there are some, but if you go into a black neighborhood.
Well, I don't even know how old this article is.
The Indians.
They go everywhere, though.
No. Yeah, you're right, but it's going to be Indians owning liquor stores or gas stations. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Asians owning hair stores. It's going to be, what else is in the black neighborhood that we have?
Beauty supplies.
Beauty supplies. Yeah, hair and beauty supplies. There's some black business in the black neighborhood. The pimp is on the corner. And no, I'm serious. I don't know what. But
I get what you're saying, though. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. So one of the other things is trust. We don't trust each other. We think somebody's out to get me. That was one of the things that I read in the article.
Okay.
Well, do we unconsciously think that black is inferior? Yes, and she says she going back to her grandmother, who her grandmother was a feisty black woman who was all about her people, but she only went to white doctors because she felt like they were more educated, had more knowledge, they knew more than black doctors. So I know for me personally, my therapist is black. Every time I'm seeking a therapist, when I lose relationships with one, I'm always looking for a black therapist because I want somebody who looks like
That
me.
can relate.
You know, I don't go in there thinking, oh, this bitch gonna judge me. She gonna tell my business. I think I'm even all my doctors except for my primary care doctor and my gynecologist, which I haven't really found one, but are black. They're African American, and it's by choice. When I go in there in my portal to
So you
select,
go looking for
yeah, because
African-
and actually in your
So how do
portals
you
now,
look? Do you look by name?
that too. I do, but in the portals now they have it set up where you can select the criteria that you want: male, female, black, Indian, white. Or they give the races just like they do on applications.
Really?
Yes.
I know Kelsey Sebo, they even put the pictures up
Mm-hmm.
so you can see who you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
So when I find somebody that I read their little credentials, that's I go if their picture, I go look at them and see what and I do judge by the way they look also, which is sad, but I do.
You don't want a pretty doctor.
I like pretty doctors. I gotta have somebody I can look at. I don't want you having no pretty doctor.
No.
I want you to have an old man with fat fingers.
You need the one that ain't very serious about this. I need to get this. You know, you need one of them doctors. You know what I mean?
Like when it comes to my therapist, she got to be cute. I gotta have somebody I can stand and look at for that hour. I can't be thinking about, oh, look at her hair. What? Ooh, I just don't want to be judging like that. So I'm gonna be honest with you. So,
my goodness.
but that was one of the things about trust. And another thing is the lack of professionalism, which we discussed. And what time is your appointment? 11-ish. It's always color people time. Like when you go to a white establishment, they there. When it's your appointment time, they're there.
That's the professionalism.
But if you go to a lot of African
Look, I'm late
American,
all the time. I don't care.
yeah, and that's the thing.
Look,
Now,
I
'cause-
understand. No, because I'm not the only one. It ain't just us that be late. Nah.
Well, this is the connotation that this is
Right.
why we don't support our black people is because my appointment's at 11, but you roll up in there with Kentucky Fried Chicken at 11:12. You know what I'm saying? You know my point, and then you eating, and I'm waiting for you to finish eating while I'm getting my hair done. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get my hair done, and that's one of the reasons I came out to beauty salons because I could never figure out what the hell took so long in the beauty salons.
Yes.
And they worked. And you know, my daughter has left a lot of stylists because of that. Because she'll
The
go,
lateness.
she'll go to a 4:00 appointment and get out like at 11:00 at night. And it's professionalism, you know. So I think it's some of these reasons are viable.
Well,
You
what
think?
else is on the
Yeah.
list?
Well, I didn't get that far. I was reading, then you got me all distracted. Let's see.
All right, don't matter. We know. What
Oh, okay. Because black businesses are more expensive than other businesses.
That's not true. That's not true.
Sometimes yes and sometimes no. When you're a small business, you do have, if you don't have the clientele to buy in bulk to get it cheaper,
Right.
then you do have to get it at
Right.
a
And if you don't
higher
have
price.
connections in those areas, like
True, too.
like if you gotta think of, like, let's just say a hair store. That's a big thing in the black community. Black people going to a black owned person hair store and they gonna want to get a discount. I've seen this happen. A guy had a place over here in Humble, but they didn't do that with like I was talking about. They don't go in there and try to negotiate with the Indian or whatever like that. Whoever, usually Asians, but they don't go in there and try to negotiate. So he didn't survive. You remember the guy that opened up the black hair store?
Oh, for 1960?
Yes. Okay. So he didn't stay long.
I know he didn't.
And
But he didn't have a lot of product because I have to be honest, when I went in there,
he doesn't have the connections to get that
Yeah.
stuff like
But you know why he couldn't? And that's another thing they said on the list is because we don't have the same financial opportunities that a lot of, like, if we go in there and try to get a loan, let's be real, an Asian person can come here get a loan and buy what they need versus
They don't even
our
have to have good credit.
So a lot of times, and people don't realize, a lot of times we're starting these businesses on our own capital.
Yeah.
So you're right. So our stuff has to be a little bit more expensive to try to meet the next month to stay afloat. But nobody understands that. We don't have those same. We can't walk into a bank, not all of us anyway, and say, hey, can I get $5 so I can go and get a distributor and buy all this hair? Because when I went into his location, it was I was like, oh, it was not much to choose from in here, you know. And I did go up the street to the other beauty supply because he didn't have what I needed.
Right.
But that just goes to show that we need to focus on our finances.
Yeah.
Because if you get yourself straight financially, you don't have to worry about going and borrow from nobody else.
right.
To get
Let's
that
talk
enough.
about that, because I know I took a class with you with Sabrina, and you talked about how you switched your whole lifestyle based on the Dave Ramsey.
Yes.
You read a Dave Ramsey book. Is you still doing that? Or?
Yes, I am. That's how I'm able to not work for nobody.
So tell us about it, because we actually started and we kind of fell off the map a little bit. So what
Well, I
happened?
still do. I've always did some of those same principles, but I still,
Right.
I keep debt low.
So tell us what you did. So how was it? Because I know you said your biggest challenge at that time was changing your husband's mindset, because like, wait a minute now. So what? So tell us about it.
Well, every year, no matter what we did, we could be on a good path, we can be on a bad path. We would never go into the year out of overdraft. Every time you turn around, we in overdraft. I'm getting a $1,200 check from HPD, and I'm only getting $600 in my account because of overdraft. And I'm like, we have to eliminate something. We can't keep doing this, because it's a constant
Right.
cycle. You borrowing, and you never see what you bring home. Like, these jobs, we can make a lot of money.
Right.
You can make a lot of money doing whatever it is that you're doing, but when you have more coming out than what you bringing in, or you don't
There
know
you
how
go.
to find that balance, then you always gonna be in a negative. So once I got my hands on that book, I started reading, and it came to a point where never borrow again. He's just blatant out, never borrow again.
What were you
So
borrowing, if I may
That's
ask?
credit
just
cards.
not
Credit-
even just credit cards, but just loans. Overdraft is borrowing, because when
Okay.
you go on overdraft, the bank is giving it to you, but you got to give
Pay
it
them
right
back
back.
plus
You know what I'm
extra.
saying? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the first step that I tried to never borrow again. So I cut off the overdraft on my account, and I was like, if I can just penny pinch here, put a little bit there, or put some here, or break all my funds down equally, then I should be able to pay myself, as opposed to doing the overdraft. So that's what I started doing. Every time I got my check when I was working, I was putting money here, just in case. I did it for just in case anything. If the kids need some school clothes, if the car break down, if we got to go to the doctor, we'll put it to the side.
So you had
I
different
would
accounts for, not necessarily
I had
account
different
envelopes. I had a friend who did an envelope process. So you had different envelopes for different. So you took your money out the bank, period, or you
I
just
still use my bank, but if you really pay attention to the fee, the bank charges fees for literally everything. You got a fee for the ATM. You got a fee to change your money from one account to another. At least some places do anyway. Then I started noticing that even though it's my money that I'm giving to you, it's not my money, because
You charging
me to take my own money out.
Right.
So, but for professional reasons, I keep my bank account open, because the government gonna want to know what you getting into, and if you get too much, they gonna come messing with you.
Right.
So I just started paying myself or borrowing from myself. I put a lump sum to the side for me to strictly borrow from, and then I just started putting it back in, and then I noticed, like, I really don't need this overdraft. But everybody don't have that mind frame. You have to want to change in order to get it done. And once I did, and it was so easy, I was like, dang, I ain't got this $50 overdraft fee or this $30 overdraft fee.
So that was keeping you in the hole, the overdraft fees, not necessarily your everyday bills.
Life was keeping you in the hole. Once you in the hole in one thing, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, and then you're going to get in another hole. So it was like a never ending cycle. Yeah, I still have debt, but I'm paying it off little by little. And that's the thing that we don't like to do. We don't like to pay our debt back.
I know.
And the gag is them credit cards.
Right.
Like I said, just credit cards. Anybody that's trying to offer you something free, and I have to tell everybody, nothing is free, not even oxygen. And everything comes with a price. So why not take all of that and invest it into yourself, as opposed to finding somebody else to do it? And it just made it a little bit
So
easier.
this $1,200 paycheck you was getting every week from HPD, you started applying it to these different areas, these in different envelopes to cover different areas of your life, and you also paid yourself also. So eventually that envelope got big enough where you can walk away from your job. Oh, so now your husband still work, and he still does work.
He still
Okay,
work.
okay, okay. So how did he? Because that's huge. Because I know for us, we started it. And and he tell you to save that first $1,000 or whatever. We did that. I don't know how many we went to the church.
Right.
And for some, we just fell off. Period. We may practice here and there, but it's not consistent like you were doing. I've never met somebody black who actually followed the process that's tangible.
I mean,
Well, I'm just saying for me personally,
Right.
like, because I knew she was doing it. It's tangible to say, I did it. It works. You can do this. And has your lifestyle changed in terms of what you like to do, stuff you like to buy? Cause that's hard. That's hard.
Honestly, it made me more frugal, and it made me pay attention to the stuff that I was actually buying. Because when you have all this money coming in, and then when you got overdraft, you don't care. You just swipe.
Right.
Oh, I got it. So once I stopped eliminating like stupid stuff,
Like what? What's stupid? Like
$500 purses that I only got $300 in.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's not necessarily just stupid. I just stopped buying stuff that I really didn't need. If I don't need it, I absolutely don't buy it. It kind of hinders
But
me
that's
a
a
little bit.
mindset because I need my shoes. I need them.
If you come to my house right now,
Uh-huh.
I have 2 closets full from top to bottom with the boxes. I have a big walk-in closet and I have a hallway closet. I had to eliminate some of these shoes that I found shoes that I haven't even worn and they like 4 or 5 years old. What do I need all of them shoes for? Shoes and purses was my thing. Like I love shoes and purses.
Don't be looking at me
But
sideways.
I'm like, look at all of this money sitting right here just collecting dust. What can I do? Then I started selling some of the shoes and I put that money up too because I used to love Jordans. That's all I
Yeah.
have.
You sold your Jordans too?
Did I? I only had 2 pair of Jordans left.
Oh,
Those
wow.
my favorite pairs. It's like it is a mind thing. If you want to get ahead, you have to be honest with yourself first of all and find the problem. And once you see the problem and how much you spending or you really don't need this, you really just trying to keep up with everybody else. Once you lose that, I got to keep up with everybody else, then you can.
And I think that's the biggest challenge for Black people because we want to look like we got something and we don't have nothing. I don't even know why we care what somebody else think because they're in the same damn struggle. I don't care how much money you got. You're in the same struggle. But we always want, and then we want to look good for people who don't even like us.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I struggled with that for a long time, but now I just don't even care.
Right.
I don't care. I like that. So we definitely need to get back to that Dave Ramsey thing. So how did your husband adjust? Because I know you mentioned that
he started seeing what I was doing and he started wondering why I didn't come here and ask him for no money and this, that, and that. Where you get that from? Because I started my makeup business, so I had to buy makeup. So like, why you ain't ask me for that? Why you got some? Why you ain't borrowing
Made them
from me?
feel like you ain't need them.
I got my own. So once he seen that, he got on board with it, and it's just been cool ever since.
Interesting.
You know, if y'all just listen to us men sometimes.
Here we go.
No, I'm just kidding. Now, we listen to y'all sometimes, we would just be, I don't know. But now, if what I do with my finances, I've always had that thing. You keep the debt low and you put the money in the bank, not out wherever. What was that somebody said? If you can see, somebody said that to me one day. If you can see more money sitting in your driveway than you got in your bank account, you got a problem.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying? So people have these $100,000 almost cars.
Right. Paying these crazy car payments.
They paying all that money. And they don't even have $50,000 car sitting out there, but they got $1,000 in their bank. They struggling trying to keep up with their car.
And it's not even, it's that scenario, and it's also the scenario you can be a high income earner and be able to afford all this stuff, but one day,
your money going to paying all of that.
But so one day,
instead of
so
going
what
in your
happens
bank.
one day if the company just shut down, or you're the one to get laid off, and then you still got all this debt that you've been paying
That's
on
right.
that you can afford, but now all of a sudden all the money that you've accumulated. You got to pay all this debt. So you still should live a certain way, even though if you do, have a good.
You don't.
Yeah, you're right.
It is true.
So
Right.
how does this help Black people? Do you think Black people, and I know people in general, but we're talking about, Black people supporting Black people. So do you suggest that Black people all go look into Dave Ramsey or anything of that nature?
I would suggest if you're gonna start something, make sure that you are 100% prepared for it and not halfway there. Like, don't have a building, but you got, like Tiffany said, I'm sorry, T with Monroe. Said, he didn't have a whole bunch of supplies. That means you do everything that you do. You have steps.
He didn't do the right planning.
He could have got a smaller building to make his supplies look like it was a lot.
That too.
So he didn't do a good.
He didn't plan well.
Right. He didn't have a good business. I guess.
And honestly, it's probably not because it's just probably just lack of knowledge or the urgency to get the business started. Because sometimes people say, if you want to do something, just do it.
And that's true.
But again, he could have got a smaller building and filled up that smaller building would have looked like more was in there than what it was. And I think, if we all were conscious of how we spent our black dollars, we probably would spend more within with each other. You know, I think. You think?
Let me ask a better question.
Excuse me.
Let me ask you this. How do you think? Who do you think? Let me rephrase it. Who do you think who do you think is the responsibility to help black businesses support black business? Is it like the politicians? Is it the individuals? Is it like the mindset of the people? What do you think? Is it a combination of things? What do you think that should come? The leadership should come from. You know. You understand what I'm asking?
I do. I feel like anybody could be a leader.
Right.
You just got to step out of that fear and lead.
Right.
That's the only way that we're going to get anything done. A lot of people don't want to step up to the plate. Or if they do step up to the plate, it's always a stipulation with it. Cornell X is the prime example, not to throw no shade or nothing like that.
Right.
He provide his services, but they're so high. If you out here every day on the news talking about this person did this or this white cop did this, but you over here robbing the black people that you helping, how is that helping the community? That's all about himself. It's a lot of black people that's out here that's willing to help, and Sabrina is a prime example.
Yes, Sabrina
that
Cross,
lady,
yeah.
she started teaching us free game. And then when we started advancing in our skills and stuff, then she started paying. We didn't have a problem with paying because we knew ultimately at the end,
that's what I said earlier.
the stuff that she was paying for, it was going to benefit. She is part of the reason why I was able to walk away from my job. So if we can use that same negative energy that we put into others to try to keep us down, we can be successful. But again, it's all about the mind frame. When you got when you got social media, when you got TV portraying us as the ghetto black angry people, you know what I'm saying? The TV is very powerful. It starts people to think that that's what they are, and they start getting into that role.
Right, because you have to. A lot of times, I think you have to work in position. You got to be in position so you can learn to do your own. And we don't get those particular jobs, so that you can go out and now you know how to do it. Now you know how to do this. You can actually go out and actually do it yourself. A lot of people don't know. That's the part that we talked about earlier, where you actually learn. You have some knowledge of how to
but
do
you gotta have to want to learn. You gotta want to step out and do some things different. Like the stuff that I learned, I had to research and
I agree. But what I'm saying is, she said something about the image that we put out. People don't want to hire black people sometimes. They may hire the one black person, but they really don't want to hire
and
us.
it's true. And that alone right there should tell you the struggle that we face, not as business owners, but just black people, period. Right. The odds are always against us.
Right.
So I feel like the only way that we're going to be able to achieve anything is to stop playing that game.
I agree. And I'm going to tell you one of my things. You know, I always have to throw a little politics in this. So this is one of the things that bothers me. And that is, our black communities are represented by black politicians, most of them. We got the Sheila Jackson Lee. We have unless it's in California, the Maxine Waters in Atlanta. I forget all these guys, but they have representation. Now, I saw a donors list, and I talked about this on a podcast before. Well, I saw a donors list of Sheila Jackson Lee. Mm-hmm. And usually your donors are the people that, they can be from anywhere, but the ones that's in your neighborhood that support you, these donors were not black. They were Abak, Wanyang. I'm just saying, it was everybody.
They were non-black people who were making these
Asian and everything that the people
other cultures, right?
That own the businesses in those communities.
That was funding. You say Sheila Jackson Lee?
Funding her.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that this goes on in every black district, because the black business owners, the black people, aren't giving them money to keep them in office. They are not the ones just donating. They may work voluntarily for free.
Right.
They may do stuff like that, but they are not the ones that are giving them money to actually have them run ads if they have a opponent, somebody running against them. And the reason those people they have long-term incumbency where they're actually in office for a long period of time is because if you do run against a person that's been in office in the black community, and you run against them, you literally, it's like a straight steep, you going uphill like a real steep hill, because you can't defeat them, because the people that's in office know that they need to keep them in office because they're getting what they want. So you can't.
So basically,
so how does it affect the black community is that those people stay in business. You don't have black business coming up because there's nothing out there. Like you say, you have something to teaching them to do that, but there's nothing out there actually showing them how to open up a store. It ain't even about supporting as much. If you knew what you was doing, if it was nice and clean and got it going on. Like, what's that show we was watching?
What? I don't know.
The one out about the restaurant guy.
Oh, Hustle and Soul.
You watch that?
You watch Hustle and Soul, girl.
All right,
watch the episode. Just watch one.
We're watching this. So he's in New York.
Black business, a restaurant
chef,
owner.
Yeah, black chef. It's like the Breakfast Club type of. It's a better, probably a more variety of food, but he has a nice restaurant, and he has supporting business, but it's so much drama going on in there. And to me, I looking at him, I can tell I always say he doesn't know something about running the business because he's mixing business and pleasure, and it's just causing all kind of chaos in there. So I'm just thinking you don't really see those things, but maybe
it happens because even with the example I used earlier when the ex opened up the clothing store, one of the things was from the family is you need to hire family members. You need to hire family members. We hire family members. We one day we decided, wait a minute, why inventory is low? What the hell is going on, girl? We don't put cameras in there. She dressing her boyfriend. He's shopping in there. She's shopping. He opening the doors after hour, just taking stuff. They were stealing. No, even when we had the car wash, the same thing. Hired cousins. You want to have, you want to own a business. You want to, give your family a job because you can afford to do so. He pocketing the money, not just the tip money, but the money for the car. We leave to go to lunch. Ain't no cars been through here. You know what I'm saying? It's just one thing. So again, that goes back to this trust thing. So I think because over time, black business have a bad reputation, could be why people have a difficult time shopping there, and then comfortability. Because like I say, it's easier for me to run to Walmart or just run to Kohl's or somewhere close to find me an outfit versus finding the black boutique that I see advertised on Facebook, downtown. And I would love to do that. But again, it's convenient, and we've been mind raped to believe that, into this convenience, and we'll shop with a white person or a white business before we shop with a black business. And it's sad, but it's reality.
I mean, it happens sometimes, but yeah. I'm just a firm believer. I don't want to seem like I'm racist or anything like that, but I'm not. I pay attention to everything, and those people don't care about us.
They don't.
All they care about is money. If you ever go to Walmart and you checking out 9 times out of 10, your cashier has an attitude. For one, they've been on their feet for 8 to 12 hours. They only get a 30-minute lunch break, then they gotta come back. They don't care about their employees, nothing like that. My thing is people out here like me, black, that cares about the community. Give us a chance. Don't pass us up because we too far or this and another. You
fighting a whole mindset though, girl,
because
we don't teach our the kids teaching our kids this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Teach them how to be entrepreneurs, how to support each other, how to uplift each other.
How do you teach? When you're sharing this information, and you are, you said that you try to show other black people how to start their business or how to be successful in their business. What are some of the things you actually teach them?
First of all, I tell them if it's something that you want to do that you really don't know how to do, you need to research and you need to learn your craft. Don't go into nothing halfway, because when you don't know nothing, people sense that and that scares them out. Oh, she don't know what she doing. I don't think I want to go with her. That scares them out. So the first thing I tell them to do is educate themselves and let them know that if this is really what you want to do, you have to give your 100% all into it. And if you're talking about leaving a career like I did, you really gonna have to have your stuff together so so that you can survive, because that's gonna be your bread and your butter. That's your only income. So I try to tell them, make sure this is really what you want to do, and if you need anything, just come let me know. We teach marketing, we teach advertising, we use Facebook, social media, because that has taken over everything. So we do a lot of teach them how to do web marketing, social media marketing, advertising. I know y'all probably get tired of me posting them little 30-second picture videos with my little information on it.
I think it's good. But have you, just real quick, have you find that when you're advertising, people they won't like or comment on those things, they like on and comment on the things that are not related to your business?
All the time.
Yeah.
But you can't think about stuff like
I
that.
do.
If
I know.
you constantly do it, that's going to keep you down. I'm not even going to lie. I used to pay attention to my numbers. I used to pay attention to how many people sharing my stuff. And that used to keep me down. But if I keep that in my mind, like they not liking my stuff, then I would never go ahead and I never achieve. Like some people supposed to come to your path and some people not supposed to. So I'm looking at it. These people not liking my stuff, they hating on the sideline, and 9 times out of 10 they usually be hating. So you can't worry about who's not liking your stuff. You just work on building your stuff until you can get to the clientele that you want.
I have to keep that in mind, because even with my podcast, I'm not asking for anybody to buy anything, but time is valuable. So I am asking you to listen with your time. And so for me personally, I do know that I post mostly in my group or my Facebook business page, but my posts and my episodes don't get a lot of feedback, but the BS that I put out there get a lot of feedback.
So
you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
People like drama.
Yeah.
And if you trying to do something good, or you trying to do something that they're not doing or they secretly want to do,
because in my mind I'm thinking, how hard is it you driving to work, push play, even if you listen for 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting upset about that stuff.
Do black people in general listen to anything besides? I mean, because I listen to talk radio.
Yes, let me tell you something. We're not that limited where we don't listen outside of radio. You listen to talk radio. I mean, I listen to radio. I listen to audiobooks. I listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of array of stuff. Do you know a lot of
black people that listen to alternative stuff besides music?
I honestly don't. Like, my circle's so small, so I honestly don't. Me personally, I'm all around type of person.
Right. But you know why? You know why? Like because you're a type of person who want to educate yourself. Yeah, it's usually people who are looking for other ways of getting information. Because if you stay stuck to trying to listen to radio or trying to Google stuff.
When most black people, if you get in that car, let's just say you mentioned getting in your car, your vehicle. When they turn the radio, I already know what stations is gonna pop up on the radio.
Right.
If you look at their playlist they're gonna have music. They're gonna be the songs or whatever that they like.
Right.
You're not gonna hear a lot of educational stuff that they're listening to.
That's for me personally, when I fell upon podcasts, because I knew about them, but I just really didn't listen. I was going through one of my depression episodes or whatever, and I'm the type of person, I'm always looking for uplifting stuff to help me get through the day, especially if I'm stressful at my job. And the music, and my therapist said, because I was listening to, what's that song by A$AP Rocky, Fucking Problems. And so he told me, he said, if you listen, it was Ken, he said, when you listen to aggressive music before you go to work, you get aggressive at work. So I was like, I got to find something different so I won't be going in that work all crunk and be ready to, nuck if you bug and thinking people talking about, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to get my mind right. So I started, exactly. So I said, let me find something that can help me that's spiritual, motivating, and I found a podcast. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Then I found another one. So I got on iTunes and I started Googling different things that I was interested in, whatever it was, whether it was, it's like YouTube, but whatever interest you have, you can find it in a podcast.
And people are actually on, like you said, social media more than they even listening to anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we as black people need to actually find something else, some type of intriguing, something that's gonna build us, something that's gonna be fed into our brain, that's gonna actually uplift us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's a mind thing. Right. All of this negative stuff, if you really just pay attention to it, it's kind of like mind controlling. You listen to the same thing over and over all again, day long, and then you want to live like that. So if you listening to being on the block all day, then what you gonna do? You gonna put your time. It's not. We don't get enough light to shed the positivity, and the people that are black and in the spotlight that do spread it, they don't get that much play because they're not keeping up with what, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
what everybody else is doing. So it has a lot to do with the mind frame and mind control period, because the way that we are displayed on TV and everything. So if you constantly seeing that, then that's what they're going to believe. It's only like a handful of people that's strong enough to go outside of it. But even if it is somebody that's giving them information and this, that, and another, are you willing to take it even if it is for free? Just because it's not something that you're used to, are you going to bypass it? And that's what happens to us.
we're not comfortable. We get
free information. It does not normally, people actually don't jump on it. You understand? Like if you was giving a seminar and say, "Oh, it's free, just come in."
like for
people
example,
won't come in and see it, but if you charge them something, they'll come in and actually sit there and listen to you talk.
People feel like free stuff have stipulations to it, which is true. But like I say, everybody not out to get y'all.
It's not, because I feel like if I get some free information, I'm like, man, that was good.
Right.
I'm gonna want to go further with it. But like for example, with network marketing, it's still big, but at one point it was big. I was doing It Works, and people start running from you. You know, it's just like I had a few.
I
was good at it though.
Yeah,
I was good
aggressive.
because I believed in the products. You know what I'm saying? And so if you have something that you believe, so for me personally, if I could get a vitamin or whatever without having to go into the store, because I'm an online shopper. I love online shopping. So if I haven't gotten into the grocery store thing yet, but it's coming. So it's easier for me to go online to buy the things that I need and want than going into the stores, than, you know, trying to find a parking spot, and if I could support people, like I would buy my makeup from Sabrina online or whoever, you know, because even I'm looking at this young lady who does, I can't think of her name right now. I got to get her name. Ikea. She started a hair product line for natural hair. And my daughter bought some for her daughter, and I just love what it does to my granddaughter's hair. So I'm going to start buying her products. And I think she's African American, but she's biracial. She's biracial. She's black and Mexican. Which means she's black, you know. Anyway, so it's just, but we run from stuff like opportunities like that, because when the person who first presented the network marketing to me, it was kind of scary at first. I didn't understand it, but I took a chance. A lot of people don't want to take it. They think everything is a scheme, and everything is not a scheme. You know what I mean? You know, even if you don't understand, at least take the time to research it to say this is truly not for me, versus running and hiding from people.
It's the fear of change that keep people from doing something
and that's why
different.
a lot of times we don't really have anything. We're stuck in these jobs that make us unhappy, and we are spending our dollars where we probably should not be spending, all because we limit ourselves with what we want to learn and what we want to do, because it's not comfortable for us. And, you know, even your mother's an entrepreneur, but my mother isn't, you know, and I can't say that she wouldn't support me if I like started this grand business or whatever.
Your mother's pretty
but she wouldn't do it herself though. You know what I mean?
No, but that's...
So is there a difference when people who...
Yeah, I don't expect everybody to do what I do if I'm doing the business, but if you looking for that product and you go somewhere else and buy it, I have a problem. Does that make sense? It's like, you know, I'm doing that, so why would you? It's like when I was doing the electricity, I was doing stream energy, and I was like, okay, have you even? I mean, people say, oh, I went to such a they. Okay, you went there. You didn't even talk to me
to see what I had to offer.
Yeah,
but it's more convenient to go to TXU or...
No, it's not.
Well,
I'm
just saying,
right there.
No, but honestly, but it is, because for me, now I'm not saying, I'm telling what somebody's thinking. It's easier for me to go to TXU because I feel more comfortable that they know what they're talking about than some random independent black person who's sitting there saying, I sell energy. You know what I mean? It's a mindset. Right. It's a mindset.
Well, I guess so. It's the same thing we said earlier. You know, you don't support just because, and it's right there in your face, but you don't support. I mean,
we all need to do better. So just to close this out, what you want to say, Tara, about, you know, spending our black dollars with black businesses? How can we bring this together holistically and encourage somebody? If somebody listens to this podcast today, how can you give them encouraging word to spend their black dollars in a black business?
All black people don't want you just for your money. We not gonna treat you bad. At least give us a chance.
I agree.
But seriously, I would say try it. Try it and see. Like, you don't know what somebody else is going through. That's why I do what I do, because obviously I have my energy is what attract people to me. If I have something that I can give you, or if something that you need and I know you can't afford it or something like that, I know what it feel like to be in that position. Let me offer it to you first before you just come and ask me for it. But just give them a try, and I think they'll be satisfied with the services, because I pretty much shop only black now. And it was kind of hard, and it's kind of expensive, but if it's something that you really believe in and something that you want to invest in, you gonna spend your money on it.
So what? Now you say you only shop black. So you're talking about groceries, clothes. What things are you shopping?
I better not catch you at Deerbrook Mall.
Well, they got black stores in Deerbrook Mall.
They do have black stores in Deerbrook Mall. But like I've been looking for a lot of local people that's the same, like, coming in the same footsteps as I did, and I've been I found this one girl. She's a designer that does clothes, and I'm really looking forward to link up with her so she can start making all of our clothes and stuff, because it just seems cool. It's a lot of people out there that's doing a lot of stuff that you don't even think they doing, and that's the thing. People don't know because they don't want to know. I'm gonna put it like that.
They don't want to know.
Are there websites like you want to shop black? You go.
Yeah,
to this.
they have like boutiques and everything, and everybody that I've been finding has been advertised on Facebook.
Facebook is a very big resource for it, because I found a lot of businesses through Facebook as well. It's a big, people don't realize Facebook is powerful.
Yeah, Facebook just sharing your information with everybody.
True, but it's out there regardless, no matter what you're doing. It's out there. Nothing is sacred no more.
You're right.
So, I mean, you can take that chance or not.
Yeah, I mean, it should be somewhere like, okay, it's some type of big either website or some type of
they have a black business directories. They have a lot of stuff out there, but again,
but see, how much attention do they get? Like, it should be something that you can go to that you know that's where it's gonna be at.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So
they do have it out there. It's just that people hating and not sharing it. That's the thing. How many people in your group, Monroe?
1,600.
1,600. How many people post in your group, Monroe?
15 people.
My point exactly. She got all those followers and only 15 people supporting or even interacting.
Right. And I say out of those 15, it may be a little bit more. It may be a little
15.
bit more, but out of this thing,
maybe 16.
let's just say to be generous and say 25. Say out of 25, maybe 5 of them listen to my podcast. That's small.
But you know what? I think that will change eventually. I think what happens is, well, we're talking.
And all I ask for is word of mouth. Even if, like, say for instance, I may not wear makeup, but if I know somebody who wears makeup, I'm gonna send them your way. You don't have to like a podcast to be able to share the information. If you know somebody who listens to podcasts or have a topic they want to talk about and want to come to the podcast, how hard is that to say, hey, I got a friend who has a podcast? You know what I mean?
They don't think about that because we're not popular.
And I even went to several different black individuals and said, hey, I was looking for sponsors, not necessarily to pay me, but let's work together. You have a huge social media following. I have a decent sized one. Let me advertise you on my podcast, and then you advertise my podcast to your nobody
want to do that. Everything has a price tag on it.
Right.
And I think once they disassociate that with black people, period, then it'll be
so basically, if you become successful as a black business person, they're gonna end up hating on you instead of praising you.
But be the first ones to talk about you, you don't give back to the community.
Right? What is the community doing for
itself?
That's
exactly.
the real problem.
So,
what are we doing for ourselves?
So you don't feel bad, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they come to the communities and they.
I got very upset with them because them tickets was too high.
They give back. Don't get me wrong.
They probably give back, and I don't know what they're giving away in terms of free tickets. If they are, I don't know. But I'm just thinking, we just had a storm. People out here struggling. Why are you pushing $300
because they
nosebleed tickets? That's stupid.
They gonna buy.
They gonna get it.
Their house not finished, but I bet you they got them Beyonce tickets though. It's
I guess
priorities.
But who's buying their tickets? Is it white people buying their tickets? Oh, is it really? If you go to the concert, I haven't been to a Jay-Z Beyonce concert.
I think Beyonce is pretty well rounded. I think she crosses over cultures. I think I'm not for sure. I don't really follow her like that. But I think her beehive is pretty diverse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we ain't gonna just talk about them. So when we look at, I know we're supposed to be closing out, but just came up. But when we look at big entertainers like that, and they have a, let's say, a strictly black, and they tickets are way out the way. What do you are they doing the right thing? Are they doing what they're supposed to do?
I think she should charge what she's worth. But what I'm saying is, you know, Houston specifically just took a huge hit. People are still building, trying to rebuild, trying to grow. And it's so funny that those tickets, people marketing, and it's probably not even her, it's probably her marketing team. Those tickets come out right around tax season. And you already know people don't think straight. They spend their money stupid, go buy cars they can't afford to get repossessed. They do stupid stuff with tax money anyway. They, like she said, they're going to buy those Beyonce tickets because they are not educated enough to know I need to build my house. I need to, you know, get me a car that I can afford. I need to put that tax money aside to get me through the year when my check's running low. You know what I mean? But they're going to run and buy Beyonce tickets because they came out during the time they feel hood rich.
You don't feel like Beyonce, just say
It may or not be her. I don't know. But I think they have some semblance of control over that stuff because I'm pretty sure they do give away stuff. I'm assuming. I think they do.
If I'm a billionaire, those are billionaires.
They are billionaires.
They're
and I get
billionaires.
mad sometimes with them. Not
I'm,
her, but just in general.
If I'm a billionaire, I'm not going to, because, you know, it costs money. You got to make a profit.
I agree.
When you rent out a stadium,
I'd
when you're
agree.
doing all that, it costs money. Why don't you build one in your local city like Houston and you own it? So when you decide that you want to come and give a concert,
How about this? How about stay in Houston for 3 days and charge less for the tickets? You know what I mean?
I don't know. But anyway,
That's another whole nother story. So anyway, real quick with the anonymous tea. This is a segment where we talk about somebody sending a topic, and I just have to pull this topic from somewhere. So it happens to fall right in when we're talking about. I just ended a bad relationship. He's been texting me insults all evening, and I've decided to block him to protect my heart and spirit. Is this a healthy way to deal with a breakup? Is blocking someone a long-term solution?
Yes. The end.
Seriously, what advice would you give her?
She blocked somebody to get over him?
He's been texting and her insults and just harassing her, basically.
Yes, you need to block him. If you're trying to move forward, you can't be communicating with the person.
But
Is it a healthy way to deal with a breakup, though?
I don't think so. I think she should at least
Is she married?
tell. No,
Let's not read into it. Let's just answer her question point blank.
I think every time somebody gets into it with somebody and it ends on bad terms and there's no closure, there never will be any closure. To move on fully, I think she needs to say whatever she needs to say. He'll either accept it or deny it or whatever, and then block him.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, what we do, we keep holding on to stuff and we put it in a little box and we think we moving on, but we actually didn't, and then it comes and hinder us in life later on when we least expect it.
Right.
So I would say if you're going through any type of problem, get your closure and then close that door or block whatever you're going to do, so you know that you did everything, you got everything that you want to say off your heart to move on.
Yeah, because you can't control anybody else's closure. Right. You know, because I know for me with my ex, I mean, it took a long time for him to close those doors. I mean, it was abusive, you know, and it got to the point where I couldn't, even though we had a kid, I couldn't communicate anymore. So I was done. I let you know where I was, what it was, how it was, and we're done. Now, I can't control how you receive that information, and I agree with you. So for me personally, even though we had kids, it was time for me to block, because when it comes to the point where it's insulting, where it's threatening, where it's messing with my energy and my spirit, I'm not going to deal with that, because clearly you're not ready yet, and that's not my fault, you know, and I can't feed your craze. I'm just not going to, you know. So I agree. So I think you should let the person know what it is, where you stand, and just say, hey, you know what, clearly we can't have a good conversation about this. It's over. You need to deal with your issues, and I'm done. I'm blocking you now.
Well, I think you should block them, especially one thing I tell people, some people they be in relationships and they so emotional. They still love the person, but they want to punish the person instead of actually trying to fix the situation. Like, okay, so if you're gonna break up with somebody, knowing you're going to get back with them. You know you are. You just want to punish that person. Then don't do all that. Don't go through all that because you may get the wrong result. Just stay in there and try to work on it and do what you're going to do. But if you're really serious and you're really done, most of the time when you're done, you just know it. There's no arguing. There's none of that stuff. You just like, okay, I'm done with this. You don't even care. And if that person is being abusive and harassive and whatever, and at that point, you've already had enough closure, block them. Because if you don't block them, this person feels like he's still...
You giving them control because even though you may not
they
care,
they have an opportunity. They think that is still something there. You're done. You gonna let me know you're really serious when you can't talk to me no more. I'm like, this is serious. It's done. And then I might go a little bit more to try to get your attention. But at that point, at some point, with no communication, I'll get the point.
You think so? Because you remember what I went through. You think everybody just don't get the point.
True.
Because it was a cycle of us, going back and forth, breaking up, making up, getting back together. So, of course, he thought that was going to continue. And for years, he wouldn't accept that it was over to a point where you start being attacked. So, verbally.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
So, again, everybody's not where you are. But anyway, I want to leave everybody with this in terms of the buying black. Dollar spent 28 days circulated in the Asian community, 19 days in the Jewish community, 17 days in predominantly, what's WASP? W-A-S-P communities. It's Jewish. I don't know. 7 days in the Hispanic communities. $1 circulates for only 6 hours in a black community. In other words, when a black person earns $1, it is typically not spent with a black-owned business. 99% of our $1.3 trillion buying power is spent outside of our communities. Blacks spend less money in black-owned business than any other racial, ethnic spend in businesses owned by members of their groups. That is truly sad. And I got this from Blackout, Why Don't Black People Support Black Businesses by Randy Bryant. That's really, really sad. And that's should be a wake-up call for everybody because...
we were slaves for 500 years.
And we still enslaved. We're enslaving ourselves now.
Amen.
It's going to take a little while.
How long?
Well, I mean, it's like this. If you learned something for years and you taught it, and then now all of a sudden you realize it's wrong, it takes years to unteach some things. I don't know. I just feel like...
I disagree.
I feel like that sometimes, we went through all of that, and you're right. We should be at this point, but there's something different with the black American than any other type of American.
We've been programmed.
We've been all of Americans have been programmed, but there's something about black Americans because we were the only ones, like Martin Luther King said, that was enslaved the way we were. I think they had we literally don't like each other.
For no reason.
We literally don't like each other. For no
reason.
We think less of ourselves.
Yeah.
When we are not. We are just as good. We're just as good as any other person, any other race. Matter of fact, we got everything in us. Everything. Everything. We got the white, the black, we got the
Cherokee,
the Asian, Indians in us. Everything mixed with black Americans.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I go get ancestral DNA right now.
I think we should do that. But I just think the people like you, Tara, and the Sabrina Crosses of the world, I think if everybody keep doing their part, chipping at it, it eventually get there. It may not be in our lifetime, but hopefully it gets there. And I think it starts with us taking those steps, and you doing great. Sabrina is magnificent, like you said, and I can't wait to get her on the podcast. So before we leave, tell everybody where they can find you and what you have to offer.
You can find me on Facebook at Tar MUA Randall or facebytar.com. I offer makeup services and I do business consulting as well as personal consulting. So if you have anything that you need help with, call me. I don't have no problem helping you out.
Okay, and it is what it is. How did that come about real quick?
It is what it is. One day, me and my friend, my old coworker Mari, we were just talking and we had a really in-depth conscious conversation, and I was like, you know what, we don't know how many people out there that feel like us, and of course it ended up being a lie. So I say, let's go ahead and let's make it live. And so we started doing it live, and then we started getting feedback, and then we started seeing that it was a lot of people that kind of felt the same way that we felt or thought the way that we thought, and so we just went ahead and and made it official.
So you had no fears of going live?
Did I?
Oh,
I'm
really?
scared. We're gonna talk about this offline real quick before you leave, because that's why I haven't gone live yet, because I am so scared. I'm like, does anybody even care what I have to say?
You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll be surprised.
Well, that's good. So check it out. Is what it is. A Facebook Live. You have a page out there, so definitely check that out. How often do y'all drop videos?
We try to do it every Monday.
Every Monday. Okay. Definitely check them out. It's great. All right, girl. I appreciate you for coming through.
No problem. Thank you for having
All
me.
right. All right. Bye.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye.
I appreciate everyone who is listening to the podcast today. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you would like for us to discuss in future episodes, email me at twithmonroe@gmail.com. You can also contact me on my DM via Facebook and Twitter at twithmonroe or on Instagram under Monroe Bishop. Thank you, and everyone have a blessed day.